This is a video recording for homework 4. So we have 5 different assignments. So the first one, 1014. This assignment is a simulation of rolling 2 dice. So down here, we have a function that rolls the dice. And then here we have a function that outputs the result, for the user to see how many times the dice was rolled and what the results were. And here is the output of that code. So see, we have the sum of the dice, and this is the amount of times rolled. So each time we refresh the page, it gives us a random assimilation of how many times the dice are rolled. And as you can see, it keeps changing. Okay, for the second one, we have a simulation that is a simulation of the tortoise and the hare, the classic tortoise and the hare story. So it simulates a race depending on the movements of each character. So first, let me show you what it looks like to better visualize. So this is how it is. First, it's going to prompt ready, set, go. Here we have this, get out of the way. That means that the tortoise and the hare are on the same square. So neither of them are making movement. So here is an H and a T. And the H means that the hare is behind. And the T means that the tortoise is in front of. So each time through the loop, it's going to show us how many spaces the character is moving. So this one, the tortoise is moving 3 spaces, but the hare is staying. The hare is moving 1 space, but the tortoise is moving 4. And here again, we have the fact that they're both on the same square, so neither of them are moving, but the next turn they do make a move. As you can see, there are times when the characters are jumping backwards. There's a function within the code that randomizes the fact that it is possible for them to slip and then fall backwards, and then the other one can catch up. And so this keeps going and going, as you can see, until we reach the end of the time clock. Right. Move this up, right? Right. And then at the bottom, you can see that the tortoise, this is where the end is, all the way to the right and to the bottom. The tortoise wins because of that. So let's go over to the code and check out how that happened. So yes, we have the hare is H, turtle is T, and the track is an array of 70. So that's this right here, and this is the array. So each time it runs through this code, it goes through the entire array. So here, update the clock. This updates is what updates every time the function is ran. So the race starts as soon as you run the page. And then this is what makes the tortoise move forward, this function. This is the function that allows the hare to move forward or backwards. As you can see, there's a slip, and that makes them go backwards. That's what I was saying before. And each time it's run, every single function is run. And then after all those have run, the race ends. And then depending on, who has more, who has more counts in the array, they would win. Right. Okay. So on to the next one. The next one is going to be PHP. PHP is a little different than HTML, so we're going to be using Bitnami, where we're going to run the PHP files. So the first one, 19.8, it takes in, well, it doesn't take in, but the I put in a email address, and then the code checks whether or not if it's a valid email, depending on the characters that is allowed with this function. So it filters the variables, and then depending on what is inputted, it returns the email if it's a valid email, or the email if it's an invalid email. So right in this window here in Bitnami, we have to type localhost 80 is the port number, and then we have to type the file name, which is already located in the Bitnami HDoc file. And I believe it was, 19.8.php. So yes. See, so it prints, this is an invalid email. Okay. Because it has this pound sign. It's only able to have, letters or numbers. Right, so let's go to 19.7. This one creates a variable called states that has the value of these states. And then what we do is we are essentially creating functions, but they're not actually functions, for which we access this variable, contents of the variable, and then rearrange the individual words. So for the first requirement, we are searching for a word that ends in XAS, which is Texas. And that stores that word at the element 0. So that'll be the first state in the list. So it starts with Mississippi, but then we're going to take Texas and we're going to bring it all the way to the front. And that goes the same for the rest of the requirements. So it's basically finding a requirement and then moving that required word to a specific place in the array. So let me show you that in Bitnami. Host 80 19. And this one was the other one. Give me 1 second. We have a technical difficulty. Okay, so this was running previously. Yes, this outputs the functionality from this code. So as we said, it's going to find a word that ends in XAS and stores it in element 0 of the array. Element 0 is the first. So here, Texas is in the first, which is correct. And as you can see in the original, it was Mississippi. So the code did work. Right, and then last but not least, we have 19.9. This one is where we enter in a URL and then a description, and then it should post it to the PHP site. So this is in HTML, and the PHP is inside of the HTML. So we're using MySQL. This is where the server is going to be created. And this is where the database is created and the values are inserted into it, which is the URL. And then this is the HTML section where we create an input for the user. And then it is posts to these databases. So if we can run that, host AD hash. Try one more time. All right, well, that was working previously. So let me check again. Oh, it's a PHP file. That's why I changed it. So here we have the user input. We can type in, see, this is the save data. I already did that. And then it says hello, and then you submit, and then it would be posted to a SQL database. All right, thank you for viewing this video. I'm all finished.